to this videos? If we make 5,000 likes to this video, we will implode more patriotic news. Thank you. Shots fired. Trump just issued brutal threat to Republicans trying to take him down. The traitors in the Republican Party are already circling like vultures. Bill Kristol was a never-say-Trumper during the 2016 election. Obviously, no one cared what he had to say, since Trump is now the POTUS. Trump knew that, and referred to him as a loser during the campaign. Well, he's ramping up again. Kristol, who is the editor-at-large of the Weekly Standard, is trying to create a committee not to renominate the president. He reportedly told the New York Times, "We need to take one shot at liberating the Republican Party from Trump, and conservatism from Trumpism." Here's some video of Bill Kristol, starting at about 3:30 in, and there are, apparently, many Republicans who'd love to take his place in 2020. Ohio Governor Kasich, for example, has been very vocal against Trump and seems to be positioning himself to run. Most of the others, though, are laying lower, but still courting donors and interest groups for support. Should Trump be worried? Not according to White House spokeswoman Lindsay Walter, who warned, "The president is as strong as he's ever been in Iowa, and every potentially ambitious Republican knows that. I think that the more they try to tear him down, the stronger Trump's base gets. We got him elected the first time, and we can do it again. Do you agree? Comment yes or no and please share to get all the support we can." H/T The Washington Examiner. Urgent: the Democrats just attempted a military coup against Trump. This is bad. 50-plus House Democrats have now sent a letter to Defense Secretary Mattis and General Dunford Jr. urging them not to comply with the president's order to ban transgender troops from serving in the military. The letter reads, "We write to not only express our strong opposition to President Trump's recent tweets seeking to ban transgender individuals from the military, but to remind you not to comply with any unconstitutional directive which may ultimately be issued." The letter to Secretary of Defense James Mattis and Joseph Dunford, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, read, "We reject the premise that the presence of transgender troops interferes with the morale or combat readiness of our armed forces." This letter was spearheaded by Representative John Conyers, D.M., and Representative Adam Smith, D.W., and was announced right after Trump's Twitter blast last week, says TPM. The measure supposedly caught the Pentagon by surprise. GOP senators fought against the ban too. Dunford sent out a memo right after the announcement saying that they were not changing the policy until the DoD got explicit guidance from the president. According to TPM, the Rand Corporation said that it could cost the government $2.9 million to $4.2 million a year to fund hormone therapy for transgender troops. Share this if you think that this is total overreach by the House Democrats. This is the president's executive decision. The Democratic coup of our president needs to. Maxine Waters just flipped on The View. Look what she admitted about her and Putin. Maxine Waters, D. California, is as dumb as rock, say anonymous sources that have watched videos of her. The most recent video that came up is her gaffe on The View this Friday. Get ready to see the embarrassing moment below. Beher asked Waters if she thought that Pence would be a better president. "When we're finished with Trump we have to go after Putin. He's next," Waters said. "Putin or Pence?" Beher questioned. Pence," Waters answered. "We'll get 2 for 1, Trump and Putin, then we'll go after Pence," Beher said. This is not the first time that Waters made a dumb remark. It's many times. This February, Waters said that Trump was wrapping his arms around Putin, while Putin is continuing to advance into Korea. Share this if you think that it's time for Maxine Waters to lose her position. Take a look at the guy going against her in the upcoming midterms. Let's vote these people out, yeah. Rep. King broke down on House floor and said one thing Obama didn't want getting out. According to the office of GOP Representative Steve King, Congressman Steve King released the following video and statements made during the Judiciary Committee debate. Watch the epic video below. During his statement on July 27, King then revealed that the State Department under Obama gave millions to George Soros organizations. This money was even used to translate Saul Alinsky's rules for radicals into Macedonian in order to influence the Macedonian elections. Representative Steve King: I just came back not that long ago from the Balkans, where I sat in a place like Macedonia, and there I learned that the United States government, borrowing money from China and Saudi Arabia, had handed over at least $5 million in contracts transferred through USAID into George Soros organizations that were used to manipulate elections in the Balkans, and that's just particularly Macedonia, not including the neighboring countries that are there. And some of that money was used to translate Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals into Macedonian to distribute the book, and the Rules for Radicals and actions of radicals were manifested in the election efforts in that part of the world. Share this everywhere if you think that it's time to start investigating Obama and Hillary. Let's get this to Trump so he can start taking them down. Urgent: Mueller, Comey, and McCabe just stabbed the knife into President Trump's back. Special Counsel Robert Mueller is now leading the largest witch hunt in American history. According to a new report by Vox, Mueller notified former FBI head James Comey and former acting FBI Director McCabe were told that they should prepare to testify against President Trump. According to Vox News, Acting Director of the FBI Andrew McCabe told several of the highest-ranking managers of the Bureau they should consider themselves possible witnesses in any investigation into whether President Donald Trump engaged in obstruction of justice, according to two senior federal law enforcement officials. What you are going to have is the potential for a powerful obstruction case, a senior law enforcement official said. You are going to have the former FBI director testify, and then the acting director, the chief of staff to the FBI director, the FBI's general counsel, and then others, one right after another. This has never been the word of Trump against what James Comey has had to say. This is more like the Federal Bureau of Investigation versus Donald Trump. Apparently, Comey and 10 more of the nation's senior law enforcement are going to be questioned as part of the investigation. This is not good. President called this a while back. He said that the relationship between Robert Mueller and FBI Director James Comey was bothersome. It's time for Trump to act. Share this everywhere if you agree, yeah all. We need to make him. Sarah Sanders just described what Trump did for a 10-year-old, and it's heartbreaking. On Wednesday, White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders read aloud a touching letter from a 10-year-old entrepreneur. He asked if he could mow the White House lawn. The boy is named Frank. Frank is from Falls Church, Virginia. Frank wrote the president and told him that he has been mowing his neighbors' lawns and offered to mow the White House lawn. Watch the incredible moment below. Frank wrote the following: Dear Mr. President, it would be my honor to mow the White House lawn for some weekend for you. Even though I'm only 10, I'd like to show the nation what young people like me are ready for. I admire your business background and have started my own business. I've been mowing my neighbors' lawns for some time. Please see the attached flyer. Here's a list of what I have, and you're free to pick whatever you want: power mower, push mower, and weed whacker. I can bring extra fuel for the power mower and charge batteries for the weed whacker, and I'll do that with no charge. Sincerely, Frank. The bird is the word, and the bird got to Trump. SHS responded to Frank and said the following: Frank, I'm happy to report back to you that I just spoke with the president. He wanted me to be sure and tell you that you're doing a great job and keep working hard. He also asked me, we found out when we called, to let you know that we would be reading this letter to wish you a happy birthday. I think Frank went from 10 to 11 in the time that we received and were able to respond to this letter, and he also wanted to invite you to spend a morning here at the White House with the groundskeeper. Help our president by sharing this incredible story. It's been nothing but bad news about him. Let's spread some positive news about our president. take down the latest Obama aide to fall into Nunes' crosshairs will have Obama screaming. Obama's house of cards is finally starting to fall. Yet another one of his top officials is being hammered for his alleged involvement in improperly unmasking American citizens. This time it's none other than speechwriter and foreign policy advisor Ben Rhodes. On August 1, House Intelligence Committee Chairman Devin Nunes just wrote to National Security Agency Chief Admiral Michael Rogers asking for the total number of unmasking requests made by Ben Rhodes in the year before the Trump inauguration. Rhodes once boasted that he didn't know anymore where I begin and Obama ends. Now that Trump is in charge, Rhodes spends a great deal of time on Twitter complaining about President Trump and waxing quixotic about his time with Obama in the White House. Along with Rhodes, the Intelligence Committee has subpoenaed former U.S. Ambassador to the UN Samantha Power, former National Security Advisor Susan Rice and former CIA Director John Brennan. Nunes wrote a letter in July stating that the committee found evidence that current and former government officials had easy access to U.S. person information and that it is possible that they used this information to achieve partisan political purposes, including the selective, anonymous leaking of such information. This rabbit hole is only going to get deeper, folks, so buckle your seatbelts, we're in for a wild ride. The process will take a while, but it's great to see that Nunes is working hard and on the right track. You know the MSM will never report on this latest scandal, so let's get around them and share it 5,000 times. H/T Fox